We're blessed. How was your week?
Was good.
Who are you supporting for tomorrow's game? Hearts versus Kotoko.
Well, it's obvious.
What's obvious?
What do you mean obvious? Of course, it's Hearts of Oak.
Phobia.
I started watching Hearts of Oak
Masters.
back in the early 70s when they had players such as Mama Akwa, Amusak Badamoshi, Joe Dakota, Dancing Feet Sekon, Peter Lamptey, Robert Hammond. You guys don't know those players. They were the real Hearts. Could play soccer like none other.
You mean not the Latter Day Saints has?
Oh, the Latter Day Saints, but I don't know them.
them days has.
But I still have Hearts in my
In your
heart.
heart.
Yes.
So do we all.
Yeah. I've
Sadiq,
always loved
yes.
Hearts.
Where's the game going tomorrow for you?
Oh, Hasafo.
Hearts for sure, eh?
Hearts.
Yeah, the house is. I like that. I like
But
that.
I've noticed that
You've noticed what?
I've noticed some changes about Angekene.
What change have you noticed?
Oh,
No,
this
I think
man.
that is. I think if Angekene keeps his beard and joins the beard gag, it will be fine.
It
man.
could be fine.
Already, he's fine
Yeah.
because he's keeping his hair. So this one, we foretell Madame Small. Say,
Let's make the release. Make
she
the
has to
beard
ensure
look
that he keeps it because he's looking very, very nice with the for the culture.
This guy, oh no, Sadiq.
Sadiq, were you at the event last night?
No,
The Ghana
but-
Music Awards?
No, but I followed it online.
Oh, but how come you didn't go? I mean,
Come again.
how come you didn't go? I mean, 3 Music Awards, you know, you
My
should.
invitation don't come yet.
Oh, okay. Maybe you'll come for tonight.
You go come for tonight.
Yeah,
so if you
maybe,
come
maybe.
out.
Tonight, try and pass there, Charlie. Try and pass there. Yeah, I've welcomed Hama already. I'll come back to Hama shortly.
When did you welcome Hammer?
Oh, don't worry. I'm coming back to Hama shortly.
No, you said I've welcomed Hammer already.
Off air, I have welcomed Hama already.
off air.
Yeah,
Ah,
even on air.
but-
Even on air, we've spoken. But I'm coming back to Hama shortly.
Hey,
Yes,
sir.
ask him. On air, we've spoken.
Oh,
Rasta,
okay.
Yes, sir.
Hobby,
Very well, sir.
how's the mountain?
It is there.
I'm coming from there.
Oh,
I was in a Cropon this morning.
Look, I want to pose a question.
Go ahead.
Of late, you're always in a Kropong on a Saturday morning.
That's where we shoot my scenes in the day.
Oh, okay.
And because my weekdays
okay.
are busy.
But Uncle Ken is a seer. Maybe he has seen something.
It makes sense.
yeah.
You have
No,
seen something
it
in the
makes
spirit.
sense.
Yes.
It makes sense because
Yes.
every Saturday,
Yeah.
George makes reference to a Kropong.
Yes.
And I've been musing
Which
over
means he
it.
sleeps over. He sleeps over on
And I've
Friday.
been asking myself, what does this guy go to do at a Kropong?
You don't want me to invite you to an engagement, eh?
Weekend on the mountain.
Engagement. No, outdooring.
All right.
Weekend on the mountain.
Rasta, I hope the week was good.
yeah. I mean, we can't complain.
We give glory to Jah every day.
Yeah.
Yeah. So today we have the which side is the game going tomorrow for you?
Oh, of
Yesterday we
course.
got Kotoko guy.
Rasta is because
Rasta, we
of-
got Kotoko.
You know.
You be fabulous guy.
Listen,
So you and Hammer.
How much?
listen.
Hammer to
Well,
become-
Yeah.
George.
Uh-huh.
You know, in 1999, I was in school in Koforidua.
Mm.
And then Kotoko came to town to play Max B's or Power FC. I've forgotten. Then me and some good people went
Left
to
school.
climb
Well.
the wall.
Mm-hmm.
It's about 14 feet.
That's right.
Then we were hidden in the wild. There's a forest outside the inner perimeter.
Okay. Yeah.
We're there just before kickoff. Then the Panthers unit, Ghana Police Service. Charlie not knowing some farmer did they go chook we say some tech boys down there. Listen, the way they beat Kufodia sector boys and police. So me and Kotoko the main knife we came down from Kufodia to
Ah.
yeah.
Yeah.
Me Prince Tego and I mean he was my mate.
Okay.
So we came down.
Ah, Prince Tego was your mate?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. The Prince of Goals.
Yes, sir.
How old is he now?
You see,
This thing was the
I
count-off.
left his weighing card at home, so I can't.
Because right now Rasta can't say Prince Tego is his mate. We'll do some fast calculations and then we'll see
and then we go see the
Beg
money.
you, no
in
be
it.
me go do that fast.
It'll be a different Prince Tego.
No, I beg you.
And who gave his weighing card to you?
I left it. You just.
Let us bring our special guest Hammer into the conversation. Last two.
Yes, sir.
How you doing, sir?
Very, very great and healthy.
Yeah.
How are you yourself?
God is good. God is good. And family, bread business, everything.
Everybody.
You didn't bring us bread.
But you know, me, I dey do things for grand style. I know they do concert. The last time I come here, I delivered 400 pieces of bread
Yeah,
to the staff.
I remember.
So
So that should last us like
when
3
I go
years.
come, so I go come in
Mine
due
is
time.
in the fridge.
I'm embarking on a new campaign called Break Bread Friday, where every single Friday I go dash 1,000 pieces of bread
Wow.
to hospitals and the needy.
Wow. Wow.
It
Wow.
be joy
Wow.
where a plan say you go champion this thing for me.
Wow. Wow.
So I'll come through
Interesting.
properly next week.
Interesting. You see, you said the last time you came here, which was, I think was it 2 years ago?
Yeah, 2019.
I remember very well, if I'm not mistaken, on that show, that you were done with a video of some song with a gentleman called Ejekum and Sarkodie.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken. Rasta Idika, something like that.
No,
And,
The video.
And you said you were going to release the video.
Yes.
Till date, the video never show.
Oh, Charlie.
Hama, where the video day?
George, this matter is big.
Or did you lie to Ghanaians? Did you lie to the
I
public?
would never do that.
So where is the video?
So okay, let me put it out there. I was waiting for a while before I put it out there. But what happened was, right after the video, 2 months after the video, I think, in 2019, the video was all done and Ejekum saw the video and everything. He fell ill,
Oh dear.
and sadly Ejekum died.
Ejekum is dead.
Ejekum is dead.
Wow.
So Ejekum died end of 2019, and it was out of respect for his family and the arrangements for his funeral and all. I shelved the video, and I've shelved the video for the past 2 years. The video was fully done. It was shot by Hafiz. And the beautiful thing about the video was that the song actually tackles a very serious issue that we are faced with. It's basically about the plight of a migrant, the plight of our street hawkers, the plight of the people who travel from home hoping for greener pastures. And the Jokum addressed this thing that was on his heart, and it was partly his personal experiences, featuring Sarkodie actually. And it was recorded in 2011. It was part of my compilation called Reprisals.
Yeah, I think I remember.
And I shelved it, and it leaked actually. So when it leaked, it took how many years? 8 years. 2019, that is when Jokum finally said, Hama,
Let's do the video.
Mami, yeah, video. So I eventually did the video, and just when he watched it, he didn't even watch the final. He came through to watch the first
cut.
And he went back to Nkoko, where he has a small operation going with his family. Then we heard that he had fallen sick, and he has been taken to Kufurdia
Kufurdia, yeah.
Polyclinic or something, I don't know.
The government hospital.
Government hospital. I spoke to him, did video call with him. I still have the chat on my phone. And after 2 days, his brother called me and said, Ejekum has passed away. It was so sad. It broke me, actually. It was just too much to bear. The pain in the song and the message he was trying to deliver. And I blame myself for waiting too long to get that song properly out. I feel like if I had released it very early, it would have, people feed on hope, and it could have prevented something. It was just painful, too painful.
So the video is done.
The video is
It
there.
is there fully.
The video is on my computer right now.
So release it. Oh.
2
I mean,
years.
look,
2 years is enough time.
Hammer, 2 years is enough time. For the memory of the man, Uncle Ken, look, I want us to challenge Hammer. I want to make an appeal.
George,
Yes, Uncle Ken.
Even before you make that,
Yeah.
I have a similar case
Oh, dear.
of a musician from the north, from Bogatanga. His name was Captain Yaba.
Okay.
Yaba got produced by Francis Foster, Osei Tutu and Co. in London. A solid album called Tinanure. Just when the album was complete, this was an album, not one track, an album, a full album.
A full album.
Just when the album was completed, Yaba died.
Wow.
Now, Francis was in the same situation as
That's Hammer.
Didn't know whether to release it or not. Francis Foster is a very good friend of mine. I lived together with him in the UK, and also he gave me a copy of the album, completed album, with a publishing deal and I am the only person who keeps playing that album. I said to Francis, as for me, I'll play the songs because they are beautiful songs.
Yeah.
So I play those songs by Captain Yaba. And every time I play Yaba on my show, people will ask me, who's this? Council Laddie.
Yeah. Samson
loves it so much.
He will.
You know?
And for me, I think the fact that somebody has passed does not mean we should shelve his memory. So, panel, I want you all to join me. Let's accost. Is accost the right word? You are the Englishman, Rasta. Let's hold Hammer. What deadline should we give Hammer to release this video?
Release it.
What deadline? Sadiq, what deadline should we give Hammer?
The song? Usually this is prior to release. These days you can't just release, obviously. I mean, obviously, Hammer will be the who have the right to the master.
So what must he do? Whatever has to be done. Hammer, I'm giving you this week. In fact, I'm giving you up to Wednesday. By Wednesday, this video should be out.
I guess I just have to.
Or you give us your own deadline. When?
I just have
Yeah.
to. I just have to inform his family, so that it doesn't hit them.
Exactly.
Like a
As a
surprise.
surprise.
Exactly.
Yes, I have to call them and tell them that this is what is happening. And
So you never
George.
played the song itself?
the song has been out for a while.
again,
The song has been out.
hold on. If you haven't heard the song, Philip says
okay.
we should move on. But let me
do
just
this before
yes,
you play, please.
Yeah.
You know, I was to say Jekum.
Oh, okay.
Hammer introduced him to me
Okay.
when he first popped. I
Okay.
think in 2010.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just around the time we're going to South Africa for
Yeah.
the World Cup.
World Cup. Yeah.
And then he let me in on Ohohwas, and that's how come I
You remember the title of the song? Yeah, because you mentioned it.
And the marriage between his lyrics, the texture of his voice, which is purely the Adademu high life kind of, and then for Hammer to have
Merged it.
the way it hits the beat,
Yeah, it's funny.
and how at a point some miscreants even tried to hijack the whole operations because Hammer had touched Ejekum.
Yes.
In fact, that contributed to the long delay.
In releasing.
And then subsequently it got leaked.
Well, let's hear the original of that song, not the leak.
Okay.
This is it. What's the title again?
Ohohwasem.
Ohohwasem.
It's Showbiz A to Z.
Joy 99.7 FM.
I love this station.
It's Showbiz A to Z.
I love this station.
Crefia so be the answer, and what's an amabro. Come here, the community, I say, ya, the San Juan true. If you can see a pound is in him, is it then our fro? When it be a Samoya, who from Tomago into Montaigne Agro. Nakakro be the view, into the 50 a proper from the man on social Kunya see. If you come just your body, you to want to come as one day. Then so the man, I'm a castle of everyone, I just see the news out here. But the area who are on the bra, catching his room of the beer. You see a four, if you come one with your crown with your knee. Then so can be mission of one, Sanka will be a sinning. Na brabo go yet to go crown will be a sinning. Mum, they are come, you will make it be an ebony. One mammy who, then so about their power and brand in the month. Now, my niggas are not giving it.
Did you hear what I heard? Let me take the rap back a bit for you. Kensak it is.
Crefia so be the answer, and what's an amabro. Come here, the community, I say, ya, the San Juan true. If you can see a pound is in him, is it then our fro? When it be a Samoya, who from Tomago into Montaigne Agro. Nakakro be the view, into the 50 a proper from the man on social Kunya see. If you come just your body, you to want to come as one day. Then so the man, I'm a castle of everyone, I just see the news out here. But the area who are on the bra, catching his room of the beer. You see a four, if you come one with your crown with your knee. Then so can be mission of one, Sanka will be a sinning. Na brabo go yet to go crown will be a sinning. Mum, they are come, you will make it be an ebony. One mammy who, then so about their power and brand in the month. Now, my niggas are not giving it.
Oh my goodness. Hammer. When did you say you're going to release this video?
I just have to call a few people, let them know what we discussed here, and
the consensus we arrived at.
I think that Tuesday is realistic because the uploading on YouTube will take a second, and actually the host, I didn't want to put it on my. You know what? Why don't we move a campaign for the YouTube and give the proceeds to his children?
That would be nice.
He has 3 beautiful children.
That would be nice. So it's all in your hands.
Then we'll,
release it
require
and let's see
more
what we
than
can
a
do.
week because we need to get it logged on all the various portals so that once
the video comes out,
it's being monetized properly so that revenues could be.
Don't worry. You're in the right house. Boom play man is sitting right there. So I'm gonna leave that to her. But Hammer, we're giving you before this month would end, this video should be out.
I hear you.
This video
I think
should
the next
be out.
week be realistic.
This video should be out before this month end. It's
George,
very important.
George,
Yes.
There's one bit that Hammer. I think we've all been consumed by the emotions here, but I quite remember the reason he asked me to come over that time was because of how special the chance encounter was.
Okay.
Ejekum was like a janitor at the Hasha studio.
Wow.
A cleaner. And then accidentally, Hammer, take it over and tell the story.
Well, Ejekum came to the studio. I mean, he after his work, he was trying to enter the studio whilst I was working. He wanted to see what's going on. But he's actually a singer, but not a professional singer.
Yeah.
He can sing a match the day here and there, but he wasn't doing his own songs. And I heard him singing whilst he was sweeping on a match the day song. And I'm like, Otonyo must say, there be, but minimum too. And so we're talking, I'm like, just do something. I like your voice. To be about your life. Na bra, ni ending komo.
Wow.
So when he came into the studio finally, the day he brought the song, and I told him I was doing a compilation album and he should bring something. I like the voice, the pain in his voice. The person he worked for got pissed.
Okay.
And fired him. And said, you're supposed to be a cleaner in the studio. Why are you actually inside the studio? What do you want there?
Interesting. You know what you're saying is exactly what Sarkodie was saying in the rap.
Yes, so that's what Sarkodie heard when he came.
Wow.
Sarkodie actually walked into the studio and heard that Ejekum had been fired.
Wow.
For just hanging around with us.
With Hammer. Wow.
He was a cleaner for somebody. I can't mention their name here. Yeah. And the person shunned him just because Ejekum was trying to hang with us.
Hash, you said?
Yes, Hash was somewhere else.
Abraham was at Hash.
No, he wasn't.
Hashash was
Abraham?
No, he
no,
was.
Abraham wasn't. It was
No, no,
Cyphex.
Abraham
Abraham was
was OM.
Cyphex.
Yes.
OM,
Yes.
Cyphex
OM,
Digital. Yes. Oh, Hashash. That was a popular
Can
name.
we?
at
Can
Hashash.
we? He's dead.
That
Let's,
was-
and
that-
Hama says he doesn't want to mention Ufane or
Oh,
Babufai.
So,
Let's move
so
on.
basically, what happened was I decided that, okay, since you have been fired, now I can record you full time. So now you can come here and sit down in a sofa. Because first, now we are Hunaoba. Because now we are Juma. But now that you've been fired, I can record you full time. So come into the studio. So
Wow.
that is when Sarkodie is, that is exactly what Sarkodie was trying to say.
In the rap.
Jekum say, how much of a buano?
I feel they are fun hot time.
Obi a say, umbuadi.
Umwadi.
Yeah, so that's how.
Let us get into it. Hama, I'm going to read something and I will attribute it to you. I believe strongly that rewarding deliberate efforts in the arts by government in the form of incentives ranging from tax reliefs to special grants for concerted efforts to selfishly promote our arts unapologetically will be the most effective move in this movement by far. It has worked around the world, so let's not try to reinvent the wheel.
Yeah.
Which movement were you referring to?
Well, this matter. Okay. You know, we there's a mess waiting for Kwame Eugene. There's a mess awaiting Ken Promise, Walasi, Mr. Drew. All these artists are heading towards an uncertain future when it comes to our industry. Now, we didn't have to make Lumba a local champion. We could have made Lumba bigger than Mayway because he actually sounds better than Mayway. And we could have made him sell auditoriums and stadiums in Nigeria, South Africa. But this attitude of each man for himself that we have is responsible for what we have become. And these young boys are just going to be victims of our interior selfishness. You know, we need to be selfish as a country. It is important that we are selfish as a country. We don't let people in, but we can't be selfish within the country. I feel pain when I see the opportunities around us. China hasn't let Facebook in still.
Yeah.
Facebook is still outside China. There's only one reason why they won't let Facebook in. Facebook is a mammoth social media network.
It is huge.
And when they are let in, WeChat don't stand a chance. WeChat will be shut down because Facebook is too big. Now the Chinese trying to protect their own with an interior company is preventing WeChat, Facebook from coming in. When we go to Nigeria and we want interviews, the way we suffer. Stonebwoy and our biggest artist have to link their connections, who have connections and connections before they get these platforms to actually go and sit down.
No,
and
Hama, we paid a lot of money.
even worse.
Oh, you're going not even my agency has over the last couple of weeks been planning one for a lead act
Even
from
worse.
Ghana, and I can tell you if I show you the budget that we have on our hands now,
Even worse.
Serious
it's
dollar.
not easy. Yeah,
You know, even worse, they're actually paying money for this. But if the video come this country, where the video call one station say, you want do interview, I should say they go paint the station self.
For real.
They go paint the place. They will start fire people for not moving fast enough. That is what I'm talking about. We are not selfish as a country. We need to flex. We need to have that thing. The hip hop in the UK is very big. If you call them Grimes or something,
Yeah. Grime.
very, 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 very big. But they don't stand a chance in
in
New
the
York.
US.
They won't be let in
Yeah.
because it is an agenda. They will block you. So my issue here is two things: strong arming and incentives. It is very important to strong arm some people because what we have, look, what Wale was talking about the other day is a fact. He may have miscommunicated it, and I also may have miscommunicated it. But what it is really is that whether High Life was robbed of us from Fela to whatnot, or whether High Life has represented or High Life is known, the bottom line is that the numbers don't reflect. And High Life is not out there. And when investors are talking to you, and investors are sitting in front of you and talking to you, they expect numbers. How are you doing? How are you doing right now? What are your numbers? When Drake says he's on the Billboard 100 and he has sold 5 million copies, the numbers are not from Drake.
Yeah.
The system is revealing the numbers. Back in the day when Nana Kwame Bediako came to Ghana, 2002. Cheddar.
Yeah.
He came to me. He's a friend of mine. I've known him since we were like 12 years old, before he left the country. So he heard that, oh, Hama take over the country, oh, you know, make a go, because he had plans to come and invest in the music industry. So what more to do than your old paddy way the running?
Yeah.
So we sit down. I was doing LHS Makola Kwakwe. He came to the studio, we sat down, and he interviewed me. We talked about the music business and everything. He wanted numbers. He wanted data.
You didn't have.
Hama, what to go on? What are the numbers? I linked Big Ben, Ekuya Bedu, Lucky Sounds. I go link these people, say, what are the numbers? Everybody, they sell secret numbers. There's no system that shows that Bookback sold
There's number
1
of
million.
copies.
An independent, credible.
A very
source.
neutral front.
Because they are even afraid of telling Bookback himself
Exactly.
the truth, so that they would pay him the right figure.
Listen, Nana went to the extent of making me set up a studio for him. I gave him producers, Junite, Marwan. Eventually, Scientific them all joined.
Yeah.
Wonder World Studios.
Yeah.
Osu.
Yeah.
I linked him up. I put everything together for him. Eventually, he walked away. He said, Hama, this is a joke. I couldn't prove to him that.
You
so
were
he
gonna
was
make
like,
the money.
Hama, are you serious? Are you comfortable with this? Are you making money? To the extent that I was still rolling with him when he built his first 2 houses. It was a twin house in East Legon. When he entered the real estate, he left the music and entered the real estate. I was still with him in his car. That time it was a Grand Cherokee. We were parked in front of his new house. And he said, Hama, this is the future.
Real
I'll
estate.
go build houses and sell. Because the numbers you people show me, I need to see nothing. It was sad. I couldn't speak. I was sitting down watching an investor walk away, and I couldn't stop him. Now, this industry, we need to relook at ourselves. We need an agenda. The Americans, the reason why Buick and Chevys and the Cadillac are the biggest number of cars on their streets
Subarus.
is because the Fords and stuff is because the tax is almost none. There's almost no tax
non-existent.
on it. The relief people get when they buy those cars are very great. But when you talk about the WAB, the Benz and the BMWs, the tax on it, you can't own it. You have to be very rich to buy it.
Yeah.
So that's the same thing. Incentives. Let us give our people this thing you want to do by force, play 80% Ghana music on our radio stations. It doesn't make sense. You don't falter a business like Joy FM to by force play 80% of Ghana music when just because you want them to be patriots. It's a business. They will run aground. The people want to hear this. What do you have for me? What are you offering me for me to play 80%? You need to give me some tax relief. Tell the radio stations that, look, Masa, you guys, we want you to play Ghana music. Give us a reason. The tax on Hollywood, the incentives, there are incentives on Hollywood to get an agenda. When the government wants to push an agenda, George, when the government wants to push an agenda, like I made an example on UTV, gay rights. After they passed the bill for gay rights, they needed to make sure that people won't discriminate. They needed to make sure that gay people can be holding hands and nobody will push them, make them feel bad. So they looked to Hollywood. George, only the arts can change
Can
policy.
cause change.
They looked onto Hollywood and they told them point blank, look, if you know involve a gay relationship in your series, we go mia you. Your film you know go come out. If you put, we go relieve you some tax relief. Hollywood had no choice.
And
50
even,
Cent,
and
when he
even
was
invest, add money to your production.
50 Cent, when he was asked why is the gay thing all over in
Agenda.
his new Ghost the book 2,
Yeah.
he was like, yo, I'm not good. They're not gonna make this. They're not gonna make the film come out. They're not gonna make the movie come out. They go sleep top. They go near you where you know go come out. So fine. Right now, Mark has assumed office. What I'm expecting is that Mark will call us. Our airport is the talk of the continent. The only people who get to see our airport are the people who work in here. How do we show off our airport? Get Leila and Shelley to involve the airport in their movie and give them, this is what the government, this is the grant you're eligible for. If you in fact put Molly Park, if you put Kakum, if you put our airport, Valley Safari, if you attract people to our country, this is what you stand to gain. The government has this grant for you, or this is the tax relief you stand to gain. Radio stations, if you play 80% of our music, this is what you are eligible for. The airport, make I tell you, I'm not talking about the movie where people will go past the airport and fly. I'm talking about the movie where a plane from Nigeria to somewhere is hijacked and they have to stop in Ghana for fuel, and the movie ends up at the airport.
You mean Die Hard too?
Allah. You know something? Nigeria, they go somewhere, the plane ends a reason to shoot at the airport. Then the director for fish show the beauty of the airport whilst making sure the story is being told. Now, they go not say, hey, Ghana International Airport. Oh, this is Ghana? Oh, wow, I thought it was here. Only Hollywood, Hollywood was able to sell us Las Vegas. Abunsem Jimpa. It's called Sin City. They managed to sell us Las Vegas, made people from Russia and Asia all want to go and spend money in Vegas. They also have a mantra.
Whatever happens in Vegas
Stays in Vegas. So they're protecting you. They tell you that come and do your worst and we'll make sure it doesn't get out. And the badass movies from Hollywood.
Easy.
That is not
my
as
listeners.
well.
Yeah. But you know, my listeners are very discerning.
Of course,
and
the money
sensitive.
also stays in Vegas.
yes.
The
Yeah,
money
of
also
course.
stays in
When you take
Vegas.
the money,
Yeah.
the money
The,
stays.
the house always wins.
Yeah, the house.
The house always wins.
Definitely.
Okay, so the point here is that the tax Uncle Sam is getting from Vegas, Uncle Sam can easily say, Hollywood, we need you to put Vegas in a lot of movies. Okay, so now how this is done? Make a roundup in a nutshell.
Yeah.
The way this is done, honestly, is that a few people, Clive Davis, Jimmy Iovine, and P. Diddy, and a few of the media people, including the head of BET and stuff, they come together. Like in our case, Mark, what happened yesterday, maybe I'll call it a meet and greet, or I'll call it a photo op. That wasn't what I expected from them.
So, something happened, like it rained yesterday.
No, thank you. I like the way you talk.
The swearing in.
You were your sarcasm.
Are you talking about the swearing
No,
in?
I'm talking about the meet and
The
greet.
meeting. Yeah, the lunch. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm expecting that we don't even invite the press. You see, there has to be an interior, Mark for call some kind of figures
Yeah.
together.
Yeah.
Then say, look, this is an agenda we need to take. We are going to make our music the biggest on the continent. These are the things the government are going to be putting in place to the incentives you're going to be given to the industry. Let's discuss. After we discuss where we kill all the bugs, then we can call the press.
Okay.
Because otherwise then it becomes a photo op.
Exactly.
And nothing happens. You see, these people, nothing happens by chance. Everything where you see out there, every agenda is planned. People need to understand that every agenda that is out there is planned
Deliberately.
So,
there's a deliberate effort to make it
exactly, a
happen.
deliberate effort. You see, and I think that we need to be clear now. We need to understand each other now. Otherwise, we'll end up as jokers.
Okay.
All right.
You tune into Joy 99.7 FM. It's Showbiz A to Z. Check with your time. It's 27 gone after 2. And we're having a conversation with Hammer of the last 2 productions. We've also been joined by Mr. Jesse Amuejapon, CEO of Ifiba Consult. Kwame Rasta is in the studio. Sadiq is with us. And Uncle Kennedy is also here with us. Uncle Ken, Hammer has spoken at length. And I decided not to interrupt. I figured we should all listen, hear him out, and then we can make contributions. I'm hearing.
Let's continue hearing him.
Oh no, I think he has said much. Let's let him drink. Oh, you don't finish yet. Hey, Hammer. Then.
I don't finish. But, I mean, you go if you come in, so say we.
Yes, so that we
have
make
a
it.
dialogue,
We'll
yeah.
definitely come back to you again.
Yeah.
But what do you make of what you've heard so far, Uncle Ken?
Makes sense. I mean, this is what happens elsewhere. You know, and the funny thing is that we've always been making excuses. And the excuses have been that, oh, we're not as developed as they are. You know, whenever I hear that, it's just a sign of defeatism. You know, people not sure about themselves, not thinking they can do something. But what Hammer has brought up this afternoon makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
You know, because the industry as we have it, you hear people always saying, we need funding from government. We need funding. That's been the cry.
Yeah.
Of during the week, I heard a gentleman, after thanking government for reopening the cinemas and the theaters, said that their next agenda is a hashtag, we need funding. You know, so I said, this is the problem that we have here. We need funding. Who needs the funding?
But Uncle Ken, which sector of our economy does not
need funding? That's the point I'm
You see,
making.
and that is the question I have with Hammer's submissions. Incentives. Look, the same way.
But George, you let me finish my thing.
No, I'm asking a question again. Oh, okay, you finish before I ask the other question. Yeah, I had a question in line, but you finish. Then I can ask you first.
I think you're leading me onto exactly what I want to say.
To say, okay, then go ahead.
You know, because whenever people start crying,
yeah,
we need incentives, we need funding. I posed the same question. Which sector of the economy does not need funding?
Exactly.
So if you say you need funding, and then knowing the number of people in the creatives, I said to myself, is everybody thinking that every Tom, Dick, and Harry in the creatives will be getting funding for a purpose? Then Hammer answers some of the issues by saying that if you have a project that's going to put the country up there in the public domain, that makes sense for you to get funding to be able to do that, you know. And not only because you want to do that, you must be adept at what you do, because we're not going to sell any crap out there. So knowing the industry people, that is where the problems are going to come from. The few who are very good and will be chosen to do this, we will have the rest saying, Yandi enya biye. Yandi enya biye. And I fear for the industry when I keep hearing people talking about incentives.
Yeah.
So, well, we'll see how it goes.
The criteria makes
No,
sense.
Hammer, hold on. Let's pick everybody's thoughts, and then we'll come back
but
to you
he's
again.
right.
That,
No,
yeah.
it's just a follow-up.
It's just a follow-up.
The criteria is what will dismiss other people who think that they can just walk in here and take money.
What do you mean when you say criteria?
What you need to do
What you need
and
to
have
do to be eligible.
to be eligible for funding.
You have to have the national agenda at hand. No, nothing is for free. Listen, nothing is for free. Even when the government is giving you, Elon Musk, when they gave him money, when Obama gave him money, the loan, he was supposed to pay back to the government. You see, he was only eligible for that loan because of his greenhouse agenda.
Yeah.
Because the country had an agenda to go green. And if the country is going green and somebody has taken the lead, he is eligible for the cake. You know, so it's important
that we clarify it that way, so
Yes,
that we
so that people
we
don't
set
think
out the
that
criteria. So
everybody
just
wants to-
let me bring Sadiq into the conversation.
Let me finish.
Oh,
please, I
sorry.
beg.
Okay. Yeah.
Recently, I learned that the NSB, what is it?
NBSSI.
NSB, you know, it has been
NBSSI.
changed to Ghana. No, it has been changed to Ghana something agency.
Okay.
The name has
I haven't
been changed
followed. Okay.
recently.
Yeah.
You know, and they are saying that they have some funding for the public. Part of it to go into tourism. That's what they say. And I ask myself, you recently gave out funding, which you termed as loans. Have you been able to
collect the payment,
recoup the loans before you are going to fund others? So you see, when we talk funding, I think that sometimes the government too is in a fix and under pressure, because everybody is saying that we are suffering and we need this and we need that. So the government rushes to do that. I think that the Film Act, for instance, when it comes to film, the Film Act depicts who is entitled to
Who is
funding
eligible to funding and can get the
that
funding?
kind of
Yeah.
thing.
Okay.
So if we follow the acts, the law, we might get somewhere. But
Okay.
it looks like we put the laws aside and do things
And want to do other
haphazardly.
things.
Because if you're going to give funding to film people, why should it come from NBSSI or the Ghana? I forget the
Yeah.
name. There's a new name, Ghana something agency.
Philip will get it for
You
us
know.
before we leave
And,
here. Yeah.
Why should it go to? Why does it not come from
The film fund. Okay.
for instance?
Point well espoused.
Yeah.
Sadiq.
Yes, I mean, for me, I think Rama is spot on the suggestions for a certain state enabling of sorts. Across the world, there are various ways to develop, domestic industries. Local content and prioritization of local content is a heavy part of it. In here in Ghana, I'm sure that a lot of the people working in the energy sector have heard the word local content a number of times. You know, where it's actually been an act where, even if you're a foreign company or you're a company operating in a space, there are certain jobs that is exclusive, that's like the exclusive preserve of locals.
Yeah.
You know, so, having a combination of a local content policy, tied to an overarching country policy to enable the creative industry is a way to go. It's actually long overdue. Secondly, providing that much needed incentive is also very important, and looking at things that take away money from industry, which is why the issues of the FDA still continues to affect industries consistently. So you look at it, for instance, you recognize that across the world, the creative industry primarily is privately driven.
Yeah.
There's a value chain which is consistent, which is heavily made up of private organizations and private enterprises that seek to enable each other, including clients and all of those things.
Yeah.
And so in creating that enabling environment for us to thrive and grow and reach across the world and make that impact, there are a lot of ways you can look at it. Too many examples. Like Nahama is right when he says that we don't actually need to reinvent the wheel. Already, even without the state enablement, people here are creating that much needed creative content, exporting it, and shining the spotlight on the country. At any point in time, I remember from last year, I've always made a point, when you see a Shelley from Manso movie or film on Netflix, Amazon Video Prime, or even on her platform, Sparrow Productions, which is watched across the world, that is export that has happened there.
Yeah.
So if and if you see a Shatawale or Sarkodie content which is on YouTube, on Spotify, which is consumed across the world, even beyond the diaspora audience, that is export happening right there. And so if we are all understanding that, okay, there was an Exim Bank, for instance, created to enhance exportable products for the country as a way of strengthening local industries, for instance, then we should be able to think along the lines of having to enable industry. It's long overdue. We've gotten to the point where states across the world, and Amma is right, the Nigerian situation, of course, he had some few people come together, and he's also right. Getting into the United States, you cannot get into the system without the record labels, or the record, the music companies. You can't. You know, the stronger legislation is making it difficult for you. Issues of copyright and all of that. Today, even you cannot just take any song from any American musician and put it anywhere. Not on your Facebook, not on your Instagram. You cannot actually even just sync it to any video and put it on YouTube. You'll flag it down. You know, so there are a lot of ways, and Amma is right. It's long overdue. Let's begin to look at it and say, okay, I mean, too many things that is actually still hanging. The film fund, for instance, is still hanging. I'm sure Mark is just taking over. It's early days here to begin to talk about the Creative Arts Fund and what it's going to do. There was a whole conversation about a $10 million that was made put into industry from the Exim Bank that it didn't touch industry, that it's still hanging, that we don't know what's happening, we don't know the requirements and all of those things. A lot of these things were talk shops and the fanciful conversations and everything. Yes, I know people are saying it's early days yet, and I agree. It's early days yet, but I've told a lot of people that by December, for a lot of us that have always been very critical and scrutinized the state and everything, we're probably going to find our voices again if there is no direct, clear, even the creation of the copyright courts is always a way of doing that, creating an incentive to ensure that maybe bringing in film equipment will receive a certain incentive to enable cheap production of film, for instance, all part of it. You know, so Hama is right. I am actually expecting that by now, and after all the conversation and ideas that we put in regarding how the Exim Bank facility, because the last time what we heard was that they didn't know the requirement. And then we said to most of them that, today it's relatively easier for a filmmaker who puts his content on a Netflix, for instance, to show you a certain traction, to enable the person access fund. Yeah, it's easier to track, for instance, the earnings via the traffic and the earnings and everything, to use it in building a business plan to access some of these funds. And so there's no excuse. So Awa is right. We've gotten to the point. Yes, of course, that it's privately driven, but these are some of the things that the state can do to enable and empower local industries too.
Now,
George, I've got the name. It's Ghana Enterprises Agency.
Ghana Enterprise Agency, good one.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know whether Jesse or Rasta will pick this one, though it's Rasta's shot. Now, here's what I'm looking at. I am trying to play devil's advocate. Going by Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Okay.
Continue. It's for Kwame. You continue.
Both they will share. Fortunately, they are both Kwame, so they will share. Going by Maslow's hierarchy of needs, I mean, if you were government, you'd prioritize. I mean, science has shown you how to prioritize the needs of every society.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And Jesse, coming from a business perspective, would tell you that in every business environment, when needs are endless. You understand? And the resources are always very scarce. Okay, but the needs are endless. And when you're hit by any kind of, I don't want to say pandemic or any kind of crisis or whatever, and because your resources are always scarce, you have to prioritize. In the business space, when they are prioritizing in that area, one of the first places they cut off is our sector.
Marketing.
Exactly. Marketing. And even when they talk marketing, it is not just marketing, because they will still find a way to sell. Just that they are not going to publicize, which brings the creatives in. Hold on, let me land, then they can respond to it. They are not going to bring the creatives in. But they are not going to bring the creatives in.
I'll respond.
In a country where you have endless health needs, endless educational needs. Oh, let me land.
Yeah.
Like I said, I'm playing devil's advocate. Endless educational needs, endless everything. People crying, fix the country, fix the road, fix the infrastructure, fix that. You're going to carry your funds to give to filmmakers to make film?
George, you realize that these organizations that you mentioned, for instance, when there are crises and you see the ease with which, for instance, they curve. Sorry. Sorry. He didn't think he was on air.
Please, all the microphones are live, so gentlemen, let's keep it down.
So George, you realize that the ease with which
I had the same problem, so I had to stand and readjust.
Yeah, listeners, if you want to know what we are talking about, you have to go to Facebook.
George,
Continue.
You realize that the ease with which they curve marketing budget, for instance,
yeah,
they are very, very careful, even if they want to lay off workers, how they go about HR issues. Now connected to government. Everybody, when they are looking at creative industry entertainment from the consumption perspective. But they are forgetting that the creative industry employs a lot more people. Look, I keep on telling you guys from last year that when they did National Education Authority, when they put together the professions, top 10 professions, near a million, nearly close to a million, 2 of them were creative industry jobs. 2 of them. So there's a part of it that provides employment to a lot more people. Let's stop looking at it from the consumption perspective and look at it from the fact that it provides employment to a lot of people. Now tell me, for any government in any country, beyond everything else, isn't employment or creating employment for young people one of the most important things to think about?
But how does government do that when you go back to what Hammer said? An investor came in and you did not even have the numbers.
No, but I'm saying that, George, again, when in this country, which state organization is tasked with measuring the economy and the various sectors of the economy? Statistical Service.
Yes.
In our case, often individually, we build our own thing. I get it that we have individual whatever in creating our own business plans and everything, but generally, measuring industry and driving that data doesn't sit with us.
You know,
let's go.
No, I'll hand over.
Okay.
I just wanted to just jump in here. It's very easy for some sectors to be tracked.
Yeah.
And it makes it easy for policymakers to track those sectors. Yes. So if you speak about the financial services sector, who is in there? The banks.
Savings and loans.
Insurance companies. They have employees who are registered and part of SNIT's database. They pay taxes. So they are within the very formalized sector. So I had written a point that I'll try and speak about, which is, what is the business of music? You're right. The music sector is probably...
when we look at it from music, we narrow it.
No,
I look at it from the creative industry.
No, I'm sure he's speaking
because of height.
And I'm speaking from the examples he gave.
Because he was talking about industry.
No, I get that. I'm just saying that okay, I can speak from the creative perspective.
Yes,
I'm just saying that. The reason why you probably may not have had the statistical services or the government probably focusing a lot more on this sector is because governments always find it easier in dealing with formalized institutions and sectors. So in Ghana today, the informal sector, if I ask you today, how much do you think we make from a GDP perspective from an informal sector, you might struggle.
Yeah. But obviously, it's been tracked. The data is there.
I get that, but I'm just saying that the government will tell you that MBSSI would say that micro businesses are businesses that are recruiting less than 2 or 3. That's an assumption being made. But if you go to a Barclays Bank, plus it's for ABSA, plus MTN, it's a formalized structure, so you can track and see them. So I just wanted to say to you that there's nothing wrong in the problems in which we are. It's not creative sector per se. It's an issue of an informal sector and our inability to track the people who are in there. Finally, those within the creative arts sector, many of them are briefcase businessmen. Hammer is a businessman. He could be a single person doing his business. In this room, all of us could be one-man businesses. The economy sometimes finds it difficult to track one-man businesses. That is why when Ken Ofori-Atta says that I want us to formalize a sector and create a Ghana card and link your Ghana card to your
identification.
So we are getting there. So in that instance, right, when I'm registering myself and I say I'm a musician, I will no longer be categorized as a musician, but I will see myself as a businessman doing music. And I'm formalized. So I don't want us to...
So this is why I disagree.
No, Sadiq, hold on. Before you come in. No, hold on. Because
I was on it when
what I did was I skipped Kwame's time.
Okay,
I would go...
sorry.
You can, so just listen. No, just listen so that you can react to it.
Maybe Kwame wants to time giver.
Oh, unless Kwame wants to. Because, you see, I specifically want to hear from Kwame on this because Kwame has been at both sides. A business person who has managed
I wanted to handle the fact that
hold on, Sadiq, hold on. Don't worry.
No, Sadiq, I don't doubt that.
It's a follow-up, so let's
so let me just do the follow-up and then go.
One point, I'm done.
Okay.
Sadiq, when we speak about addressing unemployment within the creative arts side, the ratio of your formalized to informal, it probably will be 2:98. Let's be clear.
Fact.
No,
Sadiq.
that's not fact.
Oh, come on.
No.
Sadiq,
wait.
Oh, may I land? Let me just buttress it.
In the
Yeah,
you mean the creatives?
Yes.
Yeah, wait.
Let me make this
And
point.
Sadiq, when he's done, because I've not been notified by
Okay, you go.
you won't even think of using my time.
Exactly. Tell
See,
you.
I beg, make you finish.
You guys.
I was willing to sell.
What's Charlie, and as we come, right? Hammer was making the point about a studio.
A studio, yeah.
Where a cleaner existed, or a cleaner was doing the job. what's employment in the creative art side? The sound engineer, the guy recording, the cleaner, the distribution agent, the boys on the street selling CCDs. That sector is huge. So if you say to me you disagree on the ratio, then you probably may not have averted your mind to the full scale of what the industry looks like.
So you see, George, that's why you see, that's why I wanted to say to you
right,
that
I give up.
I'm coming. Scoping is but very important when you're tracking some of these things. But that's why, for instance, when they take the entire agriculture sector, for instance, there are different people on the levels, but there's a particular scope that would inform policy. When you generally take at the creative industry, for instance, there are parts of it that are more structural and give you a certain understanding of how industry works. The media industry is a very one that's structured. Advertising is structured. Marketing, which connects to this, is structured. I am saying, in scoping and zeroing down, these ones automatically gives you an idea of what it exists and the power it has to employ, and even the numbers. There's a whole.
He agreed with you, and that was where Sadiq, hold on, Sadiq, hold on, and that was where Jesse made the. That was where he brought in the argument on ratio. You understand, on ratio, because I'm sure we would all admit that if you come to Joy FM, everybody here is paying taxes, all right. You understand, Sadiq?
You make some of these analysis.
Anyway.
Look at it from a creative industry perspective. Generally, look at it from a creative industry.
The industries around the creatives.
Hamad, they are both saying the same thing. Yeah. It is just a matter of weight. What Jesse is saying is that if you moved into the financial sector, you could capture everybody.
It's formalized.
Can you do the same if you came to our sector?
No. Because it was a deliberate decision taken to have to do that.
Yes, Pastor
but currently, we cannot.
Otherwise, right?
But that deliberate decision must be taken now.
That's the point he's making.
That's the point.
So I'm bringing it to you.
I'm saying that's what we should do.
When Kiddy goes on stage to go and dance, the girls who dance and the boys who dance, are they formalized?
They are not.
They are not.
Exactly, but they are supposed to eat.
Yes.
And I'm saying to you that if I pick the entire aggregate of your industry, your informal sector, and you see, Hamer's point was when I was coming here, I was listening, I was like, the more he says, in the studio, and I'm imagining, who is in the studio? Nigeria dance sector is getting formalized.
Yes.
To the extent that they now can say that they will charge X amount before they dance.
Yeah.
Even the backing vocalist.
Exactly. So I am right when I say that if you have 3 million people in your sector today, trust me, the majority of them are not formalized. So again, it's not my time. I just wanted to say.
Oh, but you have had your time.
Rasta, let's say your take on this. For somebody who's been...
Well, he's written something. Make it Adam before you give him time, because no time will come in.
That's the point.
So you make it
Okay,
so you might as well land them.
Today I haven't written anything. I'll speak off cuff.
Okay.
Now, I'll make reference to Hammer a lot because I listen to him when I was Hammer made a point about the need to drive a protectionist agenda. And I want to agree with him, but also try and elevate it a little bit. Hammer, you're right. Unfortunately, it's not exclusive to the creative arts side. We need a sense of protectionism within the country on many sectors.
That's why I made reference to Facebook.
Yes.
In China.
Yes.
I'm not getting in there.
Agreed.
It's not a creative.
Yes.
It is social media business.
Fantastic.
Even WhatsApp video calls in Dubai.
No, you see, George, take a look at our sector.
But
right? And again,
it's creative.
In almost every sector within Ghana today, we need to engineer the Ghanaian through local content creation.
True.
Why must that be the case? The Ghanaian must be at the forefront of it. Why must things run and then we say let's empower the Ghanaian through local content to catch up? It's not right. So I am with him when we say we need to have a deliberate agenda to make these things work. See, unfortunately, there are people like me who are laymen who have no understanding of the business of music. And again, I'm not speaking about musicians per se. So I'm speaking about if I say Kiddy, what business does he come under? Does he see himself as a businessman or as a musician? So what company does he come under? Does he come under a record label? Does he come under management? What is it? Because see, the entire journey of managing the musician must be seen from a business perspective. And many people are dropping hit songs today, but at the end of the day, when you ask them what you do, he won't say to you that shall I be a businessman. He would say, I'm a musician. And it makes it look like it's a pastime. So for me, we need to get into the mindset of understanding that let's treat the musicians as businessmen. That's the baseline. Number two, Exim Bank, you mentioned the Exim Bank thing, and I really love that. Exim Bank is about import and export, export, whatever the case. Now, can we get to the point where we say that our creative art is an exportable product?
We've gotten there, sir.
Yes. Now, so in that case, should we also have the charge and the conversation around that?
Yes.
Can we sit at the table to say that, is it possible for us to get A, B, C, D?
Yes.
But when we ask for the funding, the biggest thing the government might ask is, what will be the tick within the economy? Look, we were here when government said that I can find 700 Ghana cedis for every NAPCO student. That's 100,000. So 700 times 100,000.
Yeah.
That's a lot. Times 3 years. That's in billions. And the government found the money for that. The question is this: that if we say, let government earmark 1 billion cedis in the next 5 years to support the sector, I ask you guys in the industry, what would you use it for? That's the first question I would ask. So let's say Kenneth Foriate says that let's pick the same NAPCO model and create a musical model. And we want to allocate 1 billion cedis. So for those listening to us now, you guys are in the industry. We are saying that we need to inject capital into the industry. The money is ready. Where should it go?
Okay.
Did you see how bank? Did you see how?
No, Sadiq. You see, because time no day, right?
Do you see how the bank?
I'm hoping that. I'm hoping that.
Hold on. One voice.
Do you see how banks are strengthening recently? When they had issues.
Yeah.
The money was given to what?
No,
I'm coming. The organization, the banks.
A good conversation on. Let's say that, because see, the government was very clear, 700 cities for 100,000 people, and we found the money as a country, right? Which means that if cash we could find them. Now we are asking,
the arts, right?
Yes. So I'm saying that, let's say the government says that you're just saying we should meet Marco Kreku and I want to join, right? So let's say 1 billion cedis will be injected in this sector for 5 years. What are the low-hanging fruits that will take the industry immediately?
All right, gentlemen, hold on. Before you come in, hold on. Before any of you comes in, be it Sadiq or Hama or Rasta or Uncle Ken, the people watching us on TV, them are money finished. Let me tell them bye-bye so that we can continue the show. So thank you very much for joining us live on Joy Prime. I mean, today's edition of Showbiz A to Z. Your money on Joy Prime is finished. But you're welcome to join us live on Joy 99.7 FM, and the show continues also online at www.myjoyonline.com. You can download the My Joy Online app if you haven't done so just yet. You can get it in the Apple Store and the Google Play Store as well. And you can also get it on your normal browser, www.myjoyonline.com. We're also on Facebook and on YouTube at Joy 99.7 FM. Hashtag Showbiz A to Z. Show was produced by Philip Nine, the entire team. And of course, special thanks to Ghana's most reliable mobile telecommunications network, that MTN, celebrating 25 years of brightening lives, and high five Chocomod. That's the new normal. Show continues right here on Joy. So, answering Justice's question.
We're solving the problem now.
Yes, we're solving the problem. We're looking for solutions. Yeah.
I am willing, government who is dedicated to inject 1 billion cedis into the economy today. No, I finished already. I go already where I finished.
Yeah.
So the money comes. Yes. So now, the government is ready.
No, he's
hypothetically.
He's building nest.
Hypothetically.
Okay, Hama, while we think of the answer, let me bring Rasta. Rasta has been quiet for too long for my liking.
Rasta talk.
Rasta.
I'll corner you.
Rasta, do you want us to go back to the Ejekum conversation?
Rasta, you want all your time.
The question I asked,
the reaction was priceless.
Look the microphone. We just.
Rasta, is everything okay?
We will start with you people.
So let's go. Let's go. Let's hear you.
Is there a way to make a
The hypothetical things just in the build and them plenty money they mention.
I mean, Hama made a solid submission. I mean, in summary, his opining strongly that, look, it's about time we identified space as a major tourism, as a major export commodity or a major export space that well packaged can be sold, and it can help generate some good revenue for our country and enrich lives and everything, create jobs and everything. But to do that, we cannot leave out the creatives. especially if we want to use tourism as the bait, we cannot leave out the creatives, tourism and culture, that is. And if we provided some incentives and certain, facilitations or whatever, tax rebates, you name it, for media organizations and people in the creative space specifically. But there are people listening who just tuned in. There are people listening who just tuned in. They deserve a recap. Exactly.
The man was sitting here.
He was sitting here.
But there are people listening who just tuned in. Yes. So, and he's suggesting that government makes certain things available. Exactly. So, Rasta, what is your take on that submission?
Thank you very much, George Quaye. And I am sorry it's taking a while for me to, Hammer.
Yes, sir.
God bless you.
Thank you.
It is not easy for somebody who's seen everything, 21st century Ghana pop culture, to get to the height which you got to, and then end up to see wisdom and go and sell bread.
Yeah, man. Yes, man.
If whatever concerns you've raised here and prescriptions you have opined were done 30 years ago, you wouldn't have gone to sell bread.
Thank you. And may I add that me and 17 years, I was on top for like half of that, or maybe 3/4 of that. My parents they actually I grew up in East Legon. I shuttled the UK, the US from the time I was 9 years old. From the time I was 9 years old,
like Jesse.
They made sure of that. Say holidays there, Obako. Esi down East Legon, East Legon. Tie, me started pano 2 years and do me to down East Legon.
Wow. Wow.
Are you listening?
Yeah.
So that is how
Make a do.
Allah.
So you see, I'm a student of a product of the last two.
Yeah.
Like I pride myself with the last two.
Yeah.
So I've been that close. And so when I sit right next to the legend and I come across as such, it is because I saw enough that if he comes here, how many bakeries have ever given us one loaf in this studio before? The man brought 400, and then he has promised to start something in the next couple of weeks. You think say he find the bread like manna from heaven where they bring on a commission can give away? That is success from another area.
Another sector.
You see,
which is sad.
You could go all intellectual on the issues he has raised here. And when we close next week, we would have another set of serious items to discuss. But when it gets to the livelihood of practitioners, agents under the creative sector, you were building a point, or you were when you were introducing me. Moments earlier,
I was recapping.
You were just about saying that because I come from both sides of the coin, I thought I was going to build from there. Then Sadiq did his thing, but you see, this is a very serious conversation, and for me, Hammer sitting right here, for him to even bother to be part of this conversation, that took him to UTV and all over the place, and then now here. If I were that blessed, I will leave you people make you die or hungry and whatever, make you people do there. Because even listening to him and then Uncle Ken and then Sadiq came in and Jesse, if you are a neutral listening in, you get frightened that which kind of people were your problems plated like this? Because when it comes to data, Obua Tukumani put together a document by Pricewaterhouse or KPMG. That document, If you ask for this room, how many people read them, or it could bring you trouble. Now,
you give me a copy.
I have.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
You read them?
Yes,
That
I
be
read
the,
them.
you read it from page to page.
Don't
worry, don't answer. See, the point I'm trying to make is we are a kind of people with the issues that confront us. If, Jesse, you lose guard with that hypothetical scenario you were building, anybody give you one kobo, say make me share. Because the real people wait the day on the were we not here when COVID struck and then some monies dropped and we prophesied that some people from some faraway places will be allocated funds, and it has come to pass. We were right here. It is primarily because, and I'll go back, I've said this again, if we do not get the much needed education. Hammer, you made some projections here. I don't know, I think somebody said in the next couple of years or something. Listen, we've missed out. We would just be picking on some of the crumbs because we Sadiq, Boomplay, this one, Apple Music, But you see, those, if we don't make the right sacrifices today, i.e., we do not set up a national agenda to educate basic primary JSS secondary school people by way of extra curriculum activities, that there is a whole new business out there that you could aspire to be. And that this is the economics of it. This is how the business is done. Education.
The business.
And I'm being modest by suggesting that it is considered an extra curriculum or an option.
Yes.
Ideally, it should be a main course, because you see, me, the first mobile phone I got for myself, like in my life, it was a Bradford that gave it to me. An Alcatel. It's not like he was sharing mobile phones in Taifa and he got to my 10. No. It was because I was working for him. The first time I got a passport, it was tiny. He's not an immigration officer. It was because he needed me to travel with him.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Can I ask a question?
Yes, please.
When you were working for him, did you get a letter?
Was it formalized?
No, it's a genuine question.
It's an important point.
So I'm
It's
saying
an
that.
important point.
So
The
part of the
formalization
change means that I think I heard you on UTV saying that paperwork or some stuff.
Yeah.
So you see, formalizing things,
No, you're
it starts
talking
from the
about-
small
Listen,
things.
when we were coming up,
Yeah.
when we were walking the streets,
A lot of things that could to formalize.
an A-list
I want
act.
to ask you and my
Uncle
question.
Ken, this question Jesse asked, let me bring back an incident that happened in the past on Radio Gold. I think it was Prime Eye and then Nana Kontihini. He had a late night show, if not Prime Eye. Anyway, now Kontihini sat on radio and said that, I think he was asked about his what's the record label's name? Ajiko's situation. And then he said that, he has a contract, and as a contract there paperwork and treasury. That was an A-list top act
At the time.
Now, no A-list top act in these times can make those pronouncements. Yes, there's been a
some
shift,
progress, Kakra.
some
Okay.
progress. Now, if you're asking me whether I had a paperwork, I think the only time that I sneaked in a paperwork onto my life was when the first time I was going to England and I needed to show proof of employment.
Then you went to
So I
Musica.
got Tiny to sign some one pager.
Okay.
That
So
he had
that's how
employed
come,
you.
that time I had worked with him for like 5 years already. So you see, that's how come. But today, I work with Stoneboy. I have like a 3-page document, like lawyers have looked at it. Now, there's been some progress.
So that one has been officialized.
Yes,
So
yes.
contracts signed and everything.
Yes.
Okay.
But,
are going to go.
but
Exactly.
you see, and even with the Stoneboy situation, premised on Kwasienity and Agrego, there's never been any like motivation because we are growing. We have kids, and you want to make a chop follow back for your album and things. And get waiting. Are you all right? So you see, no, it's very painful.
It's very painful.
Hammer got an opportunity and used his wits to start selling bread.
Kwame.
Me, no, Kramiba. So you see, if I sit here and I am fortunate enough to sit through this kind of conversation, I look at the whole thing, I'm like, yo, it is true that we are lagging behind. It is true that we need to arm strong, like Hammer says, because we missed out on creating monster legends out of the Lumbers, the Manzabes and whatnot, because we lost sight of how it is supposed to have been done. Now, if I travel with Stonebwoy abroad on a media tour, not because of we've been hired to perform, I look at the entourage and I ask myself, really and truly, every member is supposed to be on an A-list artist's entourage. No hangers on. Now, he funded the trip by himself because he wants to expand his territories and he's going out there.
Yeah.
Even here on the West African coast, he's investing this much amount. But you see, one thing that comes with his being out there is the fact that he's flying high the flag of Ghana.
Okay.
The fact that he's selling Ghana.
Yeah.
Now, if anybody in his, please don't, you could text me. You see, so please, I am saying that if these persons go out there and they fly high the flag of Ghana at a cost to them alone, please, can we rethink the conversation and make it a priority that, listen, these creatives have been babbling, have been saying all manner of things for a while. Let's really take a keen look at...
We are getting it. Don't worry. We are getting it. Don't worry.
So George, in conclusion,
watch it.
Aren't you guys lucky? Aren't you guys lucky?
I am coming back to him.
So George, please.
Yeah.
Yes, Hammer. I mean, he has sense and all that, but really, the crux of it is we need to go back to basics and introduce music business, art business into our schools.
Our schools. Uncle, can I have to come back to Hammer? We've all made our submissions.
I wanted to ask him. I've asked permission from him.
Okay.
I've
Go
told
ahead.
him already.
Yeah, go ahead.
That there are 3 people here
Yeah.
who are into music administration, so to speak, in this country, as we sit. I want to ask them, how many musicians in this country have publishing deals?
The same problem I cited earlier.
A couple of
Each
them.
man for himself cannot the goal.
Okay.
A couple
So
of them.
Ghana,
Just a few bunch.
Ghana has artists who are linked to the publishers out there.
Out there.
But,
Good.
But they keep to themselves. Everybody's operating their own small business, like he said. Now, my point I want to make.
Oh, Amma, let me
Yes.
follow up my question. Then I want you to deal with it for me, I beg, quickly. Because, George, this week, I came across an article in a British paper, and it caught my attention. And the article was titled, Sony Music has cancelled the deaths of thousands of artists who signed onto the record label before the year 2000.
I saw that.
Now, why have they cancelled? It's very simple. It means that many will now, for the first time, earn money when their songs are streamed on services like Spotify and Amazon Music. Sony said it could not name the eligible acts due to confidentiality agreements, but the source said it would include household names. It said some artists stood to receive many thousands of dollars per year. Then the question was, why are recording artists in debt in the first place? And the answer was, musicians typically take on debt when they first sign on to a record label.
Yes.
They are given a lump sum known as an advance to pay for recording studios, video shoots, distribution, and other expenses. The money is then paid back when they sell their music. However, many artists never earn enough to repay their advances, often because they get unfavorable royalty rates from their own record companies. Heritage black artists have been particularly affected.
I saw this story also.
You saw the story yourself.
I read it.
So it got me thinking that, so in Ghana, do we have people who have signed on to labels and can benefit from such a thing?
So now,
because in the past, It used to happen.
Yes, but
Yeah, but it's
When
changed
we
now.
were selling cassettes.
Sadiq, hold
It's
on,
changed now.
gentlemen,
Right now it's
hold on. I think what Uncle Ken has just read opens up a totally new topic.
Okay.
You understand? Which we would not have a lot of time to go into. We have
Okay.
just about 15
Yeah,
minutes or
that's
so
true.
to call it an evening. So let me come back to Hammer. You understand?
Okay,
you were saying something, yeah.
Basically, I want to touch on something real quick. When Sadiq was talking,
Yeah.
he
But
mentioned
we've
the
not
FDA.
answered Jesse's question, by the way. Just
Yes,
just
he
reminding
mentioned
everyone.
he mentioned the FDA.
Yeah. So, Rasta, hold on. Your microphones are still so I can hear you.
He mentioned the FDA.
Yeah.
And the FDA issue. He mentioned he spoke about the avenues where they take money from us, opportunities that they strong arm us from.
Yeah.
I just found out that the FDA's case for preventing musicians from
Advertising
alcohol is because they say our influence is too big on the kids. Now, the biggest influence in this country is football. The biggest market is football. And yet, the football leagues are being allowed to take on sponsorship from the alcohol businesses.
No. They're not. They're
They are.
Hold
I
on.
saw it today.
Jesse, is that true?
No. They are not included.
Betting companies, I know.
Yeah, betting about the alcoholic beverages,
Sadiq,
but non-alcoholic beverages.
I
can
read
sponsor.
today. I will show you the link.
Are you saying alcoholic beverages
cannot sponsor football in
Yes,
Ghana?
yes.
In
It's
Ghana?
heavily regulated by the FDA. Check.
Really?
Ask the Alsechi, you tell you.
Interesting.
No, I don't
No,
understand.
you're talking about basketball.
No, Guinness can sponsor
As
the
in to
local
be
league.
ambassador. Oh, you're talking about Guinness.
No,
yes, because
Diageo's code is
Yes,
different. The
Diageo
Diageo rules are
does not
different.
allow them to
We are
associate.
referring.
Adonco can sponsor the league.
Oh,
Checking
really?
with the FDA.
They are sponsoring
Bakotoko used to have
football.
like an
They are
alcoholic sponsor.
No, it's regulated now heavily.
No, it's
No,
yesterday.
regulation as in by people or in like
I see
optics.
what you're talking about. It's next level. It's a sponsor of the of Kotoko and
Let's
Hearts.
let's
It's
move
a
on.
different
Let's
thing
move on.
altogether.
Let's
Next
move
level,
on.
it
Because
be
we're running out of
non-alcoholic
time.
perfume.
beverages.
Let's move on.
Non-alcoholic.
Don't worry. Hammer,
Okay,
so you finish the point. Yeah.
So the business that he mentioned.
Yeah.
When we have the chance to, when we are given the opportunity.
Yeah.
How much did you mention?
$1 billion.
$1 billion.
Don't be too
Now,
excited.
he was concerned about the formal sector.
Yeah.
In our creatives, what part can you really track money and sales and proper
Yeah.
accountability?
Media, advertising.
I think the media stuff it'd be outside the creatives, it'd be around the creatives. What he means is that our data itself, how much money are we making or how much money, revenue and employment. I believe that when they put this question to me, I'll go straight for arenas, events, because events is the last line of defense for our industry. After all the creatives happen, events and sales, now we have the sales sorted, which is the streaming. You can actually track people's sales. Can promise you know how many times it's been streamed.
Yeah.
You know how much money he has made. You can't lie to anybody when it comes to the streaming. But the events is the most important right now because I believe that what the event creates, if we are given 1 billion CDs, I would move for arenas like Alliance Française Arena in Northgate, in Alajo, in Nima, in Labadi, in Ashiaman. We need these arenas so say we can dump the performance down so that Sarkodie them and Shatawale can remain in the national theaters. When other underground like performers can actually make money on the ground.
The arenas that can actually fund the event.
Apart from that, you see what I'm driving at is that when you separate, right now an underground artist and a A-list artist are all on the biggest stage. So you see, if we turn them to layers, the revenue that will come from the arenas, where area boy for Alajo way the rap, go fit at least the taxi drivers where they will come park for that night, the chichinga sellers, the business it will create outside that arena is amazing. And apart from that, the gate can be quantified. The gate, you can actually know how much he made. You can pay artists. You can pay people who came to sweep, cleaners. So we can have about 200 of these arenas around Accra. And now the underground artists can have a haven where they can perform on a daily basis or every weekend. We know that this guy is in Alajo this weekend, that guy is in Nima this weekend. People, dancers will get business. So I think that I'll go for the arenas when it comes to physical cash given to us right now. Nobody should give any money to a creative. Say, go do album come.
Yeah.
Because you can't quantify that level.
Thank you.
We don't even know whether
a lot of private enterprises.
we don't even know whether the album will hit.
Yeah.
So if you give money to somebody where they go create, you lie bad.
Exactly.
But the money for go to after the hit has been made.
What of studio setup? Setting up studio.
Setting up studio is not a business anymore. Let me show you why. A studio is a laptop, a headphone, and a microphone.
Well, it's
Simple.
a key imperative.
There's a whole
in
mix.
the-
No, hold on. There is there's always one main studio where everybody can bring their works for mastering and mixing. But the creatives, people don't even Kanye, he doesn't create in a big studio.
No,
he
not
creates
anymore.
on his headphones.
Now all the
In his
artists
car.
have
No,
mini
not
studios in their homes
He
and in their
creates in his
yeah.
car
and
on
Maybe
the-
he's talking
Yeah.
about studios that will do the final.
Yeah.
final
Yeah,
mixing and
so how
mastering
many?
and all that.
So,
No, George Quaye. Maybe you should call Fred James and ask him his
No,
studio.
not that level.
Fred in time, the studio will be very important.
Yeah.
Coins
yeah.
recently.
so Hama,
Change,
do you want
change.
to add another layer to
No,
it?
no, I just
beyond
wanted to
beyond
add-
beyond the, because it's a question that I
Because
want
of,
to ask.
yeah, because I wanted to also speak to on this. Look,
Yeah.
the states in Ghana, for instance, have figured out how when they find money, they're going to do a number of things. Some of the subsequent laws that had come, some of the laws that had come within the past few years, states are. Look, the states themselves, when they created a law, made a provision. Obviously, like again, for the film fund, for instance, we have to go for what? An LI has to be passed what for the film fund to operationalize the film fund,
Yeah.
right? Okay, but he made a provision for a film fund. The Creative Arts Fund also, the Creative Arts bill, the Creative Industry Bill also made a provision for
For the
what?
Creative
The
Arts
Creative Arts Fund. I remember, obviously when I'm talking about we in NDC, for instance, we also made a suggestion for a media development fund.
Yeah.
All creative industry
Related.
concerned. With a specific line on what
Your microphone, please. You forgot.
in actual
yeah.
fact, it was not as if, for instance, I cited an example that the government is in the process of fully forming the Central Digital Transmissions Company, for instance, for television productions. One of the points about it is that all these television companies at a certain point in time would have to pay for the service that they provide. A fraction of it was supposed to suggested that it should go into a
Into the
fund,
fund, yeah.
right? A media development fund, for instance, that would help. So that the government doesn't have to necessarily find the money. That would help to fund
So
local.
assuming
I'm
the
coming.
fund-
Local
assuming the
productions.
fund has accrued $1 billion,
See, when you
what
do
do you
local
want?
productions, when you do a local production, a very solid local productions like film and content and everything, it wraps off music as well because a heavy part of the music revenue goes beyond the sales and events. It's sync licenses,
Agreed.
and that's one of the major part where they get their revenue as well. So I'm saying that the state on their own, from the laws that they've passed within the past few years, have already have an idea where this money should go to and what it should be done. The point is that successive government haven't really taken off in really operationalizing these funds and then ensuring that it goes. So the state itself had figured out the way. So that's the question on where would it go to and everything doesn't even arise because they figured out the way. We're only waiting for the executions.
Sadiq, you and I are Ghanaians.
Yeah.
We've had laws on our books for years.
Yeah.
When we set up, I always give this example. When we set up John Kuma's institution, NEIP, we seeded them with $10 million.
Yes.
And said they can raise an extra $19 million. Now, I'm saying to you that the laws being on our books doesn't mean the money will come.
Political will.
Yeah, no,
what we are
Sadiq,
pushing is pushing
Sadiq,
that
Sadiq,
political will
Sadiq,
to ensure
you-
that you have
oh,
the
hold on,
Hold on.
problem.
Let him. Sadiq,
Your
let him
problem is not to go and whip the law.
Yeah.
Mark says that we need to go.
Hammer.
Hammer says that we need to go and you guys need to go and have a conversation and agree on the big ticket items. The first thing you will do in the room is not to go and recite
I
the
think that
laws.
he is saying the political will.
Yeah,
Okay,
if,
but you go
if I
on.
could learn.
Oh yes, Sadiq.
When we were coming, we said that when I was coming, I listened to you guys say that part of the problem is that we're not patronizing our own products. He suggested that we need a sense of protectionism within the sector.
Interior selfishness.
Good. Then he also said again that we need to incentivize some institutions to provide help. So I don't want to go with you in terms of whipping up laws. I don't care about the laws now.
No.
Sorry,
Okay, you go
I
ahead.
beg you.
You go and finish.
So I'm saying that we need to deal with the problem today. Listen, you don't have 10 years to fix the industry. To go and chase laws, to go and collect taxes.
Yes.
So I'm saying that if the finance ministry says, I'm allocating $1 billion cedis for you now, what would you do? Then he made a clear point that, let's build local arenas to promote underground artists. I love that. But the question is this: would you use part of the money to create incentives for the media houses to play only Ghana music like you suggested?
Yes, but
so
you mentioned that the money was being given to us.
We've mixed the issues.
Sadiq, how have we mixed it? We're saying, Sadiq.
No, you mean the money was being given to
You've mixed
us,
the issues from what he's saying. Look, for instance,
how have I mixed the issues?
When he makes the point about the local content, for instance,
Yes.
he says that in certain markets, there's a way local content prioritization has helped to enable and empower a particular sector. And I'm coming.
Yes.
This is why the local component, for instance, for a music industry is important. I'm coming. When you go to Nigeria, at a certain point in time, they will tell you that when you enter a Nigerian nightclub, the music that dominated was foreign music. To that end where it instigated a taste of foreign content to the point where when they had money, they bought foreign content or foreign music. You understand? Which deprived the local people of the money. At a certain point in time, a few of them came together informally. Some of them were own radio stations, people that controlled promotional assets, and decided that, okay, we need to prioritize our content. What did they do in the long run? In the long run, by prioritizing it, this is even before internet.
Okay, George, I'm sorry, but I'm not hearing the solution.
What happened is,
I'm asking. See, honestly, I'm not hearing the solution, Sadiq. And you see, honestly,
it's in the NDC manifesto.
you see, no, Sadiq, it's not. You see, Sadiq, I beg you. This will be the last thing I'll say.
Okay.
My understanding, I promise you, it will be. My understanding as an outsider of your industry is this: one, the industry is being.
Uncle Ken, let him land. Uncle Ken, let him land. It's important.
Does he look like
No, Uncle Ken, no, gentlemen, we do not have time. We have to go. We have 5 minutes to end this show. 5. Yes, just go ahead.
My understanding as an outsider of the industry is this: that local content is playing catch up. Local content is not heavily monetized. Local content is not being seen from a business perspective. When I say local content, the creativity. And therefore, we need to accelerate to catch up. And the way to accelerate to catch up is for the state to play a clearly defined protectionist agenda in helping to ring fence the things we do to push us forward. And number two, for us to get funding to push us forward. And people like you to also help create international market for us to flow. Good. And I'm saying that inherent in all of that, I hear a lot of funding, need for funding. And I'm saying that if the funding is a very clearly desperate thing that we need, what would we use it for? Then I heard him say that part of the agenda in America and lots of countries is that we help to subsidize or we help to create offers for companies to support the sector. For example, if you say any company that supports the creative sector gets a 15% ABCD, they will jump for. So I'm asking you that if you get $1 billion from the finance ministry, what would you want to do immediately? Because other than that, this meeting you're going to have with Marco Krikumante, what would you tell him?
The way I understood it, when he said if you get $1 billion, I didn't think that we could throw in the incentives, because the incentives, I was looking at Joy FM and the government directly.
Okay.
It wasn't supposed to come from a fund that was available to us.
Okay.
It was supposed to be the government and Joy FM saying, look, if you play 80% of Ghana music, you are eligible for this relief, this tax relief. If you are the nightclub, if you are a nightclub and you are able to dominate your nightclub night with Ghanaian music, you won't be taxed. IRS will go easy on you.
It's still be quantified anyway.
Yes. But I'm saying that the way he said, when they give you $1 billion, I saw it as giving it to the music industry directly, not the industries around the music industry.
But he's right also, because I mean the ways the governments work. Sometimes when they say we're giving you funds,
yes, they are allocated. Yes,
it doesn't mean that we're giving like money.
So in rounding up,
yes, Hammer,
I'd like to say that people have played their roles. Even Sadiq, I think Abraham started with Fiesta, trying to put us out there. Sadiq has done marvelously with his three music event, and making our boys look good. Ignis has been doing this, making our boys look good. These guys are all playing their part to put us out there. But if incentives come in, he will change gear. He will be like 3 Music on steroids. Now the government is saying 3 Music, you did great, you made us look good. Nigeria, everybody's talking about us. Let's take it to the next level. Nico say, claim you 100,000, 200,000. This time we will take the bill from Nikose. So what can you do extra? Show us more. Then Sadiq Gofi get extra money to do more. Ignis can go further to put his foresight on another level. Let them showcase. Let's give them room to showcase us. Now, the more they showcase us, this high life thing we Wale go talk with Temata. If we incentivize these guys, it be them go blow high life. High life could be blown through our TVs and our internet. Let's give these people the power to go out there and make us look good. You know what I'm saying? When I was making a point and I was interrupted, Reggie Rockstone and the time Reggie Rockstone, Wale attacked Reggie Rockstone saying no get money and all that. What I deduced from that was that Wale was talking to all of us. He may not have mentioned my name, but as he did Obrafo, this Reggie Rockstone and stuff, I felt part of it because Reggie and we didn't make our money from music. We didn't make our money from music, and the fact that we didn't make our money from music shows that we failed. Shows that we failed as musicians. We can't be looked up to by the youth boys, because the youth boys are expecting that did these people make money from this thing? Hama has money. Hama has a big house in East Legon. Hama has this, but where did he get the money for that house? It be bread. You see what I'm saying? So I may have fans and I may be respected for my works, but the point is the effort. Make a round up with this thing. JQ built a house around 2004.
Yeah.
And we were all impressed.
A story building.
Yes. 2004. And you know why he was able to do that?
Why?
He slaved. JQ could do an album in 1 week.
Yeah.
Wow.
JQ was the hardest worker, producer, hardest working engineer in the industry. To be able to build a house at that time, you have to be working like a donkey. And you see, creatives like us, we can't be forced.
You rely on inspiration.
We didn't have to push JQ to that limit, but he had to do what had to be done. And he went ahead and built a house in 2004. And for that, the pain he got from that, the price of that was he was working like a donkey. He worked every night, every afternoon. JQ did there. JQ releasing albums in about 4 albums in 1 month. You see, and this is what he did. Me, the creative that I am, I was releasing albums in a year, 2 albums in a year. And there's no way you're going to build a house with 2 albums.
Hama, this is what I'm going to do. Because I'm out of time, make time for us next week. There have been a lot of issues have been raised. I like where Uncle Ken came from. That thing needs looking at. And I like where Jesse is coming from. And even issues raised by Rasta and Sadiq. We haven't, there be a fault. Once football for now, I started me. You know, what we need to do is to look. A lot of questions have been asked. We haven't offered any solutions.
Yes.
I'm interested in him.
We
I
haven't.
Need his number,
so what we need to
that
do?
He's the key.
Don't worry.
The bridge, the business,
He has
and
sense.
the industry.
He has sense.
No,
I feel you.
Hama, don't worry. Hama, don't worry. Hama, major changes that have happened in this industry have come from this show.
Yes.
So don't worry. Next week,
hear you.
we need to continue this conversation. Please make time for us. Bring some bread when you are coming so that we can talk further. It will energize the work. You bring below. Exactly. Thank you very much. Yes, and that is the team. That is the team. And of course, the team is coming up next. Yes. This is the man who's coming up next. Yes.
Has ended. George Quaye.